Hey guys, in this video I'll be telling you the best builds for every C in Blox Fruits. There'll be timestamps in the video if you want to skip to your C. Now let's begin. Starting with the first C, your fruit should be light. In the first C, the main importance is grinding, so light is the best pick. It has a very fast flight ability, second fastest movement in the game, and it's a Logia type fruit. A Logia fruit basically means that after you're a certain level above your enemy, you don't take damage from them. The light fruit has great grinding abilities, and isn't that hard or expensive to get, costing only 650,000 money. Some other fruit alternatives are Buddha and Kitsune, which are better than light but way more expensive. For the fighting style, you have two options. The first is Dark Step, costing 150,000 money, located at the Pirate Village. Dark Step is a great fighting style, and this option is for people who don't have much money, as the next fighting style is pretty expensive. Dark Step is good for grinding as it does decent damage and has good grinding abilities, and it has great value for its cost. The other fighting style is located at the Underwater City. Follow me for the location. This NPC will sell the Water Kung Fu fighting style for 750,000 money, and it's the best fighting style for the first C. All the moves are great for grinding, it does good damage, and it has a pretty fast M1 attack. This fighting style is also pretty decent for early in the second C. So it's your choice, you can either go for Dark Step, second best, or Water Kung Fu, best fighting style. Go for Dark Step if you don't have much money / you're saving up, and go for Water Kung Fu if you want the best fighting style, best build. For the gun, it's simple, just go to Middletown, and this NPC will sell you the slingshot for 5,000 money. It has a fast M1 attack, making it great for grouping up enemies to attack them. This is the perfect gun, as it's extremely cheap, and it does the job very well. If you care about damage, you can go for the refined slingshot, which costs 30,000 money, and is located at Marine Fortress. From my testing, the refined slingshot doesn't fire faster than the normal slingshot. So only get the refined version if you care about damage, which isn't important since you only need guns to group enemies. For the sword, you have two options, the first one being free, and the second costing Robux. The free sword is called Saber, and if you want a guide on how to get that sword, press on the video card link top right. The Saber sword is the best sword for the first C, excluding the Robux sword, as it does insane damage and isn't that hard / expensive to get. The second sword is called Dark Blade, costing 1,200 Robux, and it's the best sword for the first C. It does great damage and has great abilities for both grinding and PvP. So, either go for Saber, which is a great pick, or buy Dark Blade for 1,200 Robux, which is better, but obviously it's quite expensive. So yeah, that's the best build for the first C. Water Kung Fu, or Dark Step, Light Fruit, or Kitsune / Buddha, Slingshot, or Refined Slingshot, and then Saber, or Dark Blade. So if you want the very best build, go for Water Kung Fu, Kitsune, Refined Slingshot, and Dark Blade. Now that's a very expensive build, so I recommend Water Kung Fu, Light, Slingshot, and Saber. Those are the best first C builds, with many alternatives to suit you. Alright, for the fruit, since you'll mainly be grinding, you should use the Buddha fruit, or Kitsune, if possible. The Buddha fruit is one of the best grinding fruits, Kitsune being first, but that's too hard to get, and it's very versatile. The Buddha fruit is great for PvP, grinding, and general use such as doing raids or C event hunting. It's also not that hard / expensive to get, costing only 1,200,000 money on the Blox Fruit stock, since in the second C, you can get money easily. For the fighting style, it's going to be Sharkman Karate. Sharkman Karate is a great fighting style, it does high damage, and has a fast M1 attack. If you want to know how to get Sharkman Karate, I recommend you go watch this video linked top right. Sharkman Karate is great and one of the best fighting styles for Buddha. It's got great abilities, and it does high damage and has a fast M1 attack. For the gun, follow me from the dock of the Kingdom of Rose Island. This NPC will sell you the Kabucha gun for 1,500 fragments, pretty cheap. It shoots very fast and has pretty good range, making it great for grouping up enemies, grinding. It's also great for the PvP, especially the X move, as it stuns the enemy temporarily. being great for combos. It's also pretty cheap since it only costs 1,500 fragments, so you can get it very fast and easily. For the sword, it's the Dragon Trident. Dragon Trident is good damage, and is easy to get. And all the moves have good AoE, especially the X move, which has large AoE with no knockback, making it good for grinding. To get this sword, you need to go to the Forgotten Island, then go to this part of the island. The Tidekeeper boss spawns there every 30 minutes, and when defeated you have a 10% chance to get the sword. Additionally, you also have a 40% chance to get the water key, which can be used for getting Sharkman Karate. So overall, Dragon Trident is great. It's easy to get, it's great for both PvP and grinding, does great damage, and all the moves have great AoE. And yeah, that's the best build for the second C. Buddha Fruit, or Kitsune, Sharkman Karate, Kombucha, and Dragon Trident. All the items are relatively easy or cheap to get, except the fruit, maybe, so there are no alternatives. If you want the very best build, replace Buddha with Kitsune. Other than that, that's the best build for the second C. Alright, since the third C is the final C, there'll be two builds, one will be a grinding build, and the second will be an endgame build. Starting with the grinding build, you have two options for the fruit. The first option is Buddha, as it has insane reach making it great for grinding. Buddha is also pretty cheap to get, costing only 1,200,000 money, and you can easily trade for it. The second fruit option is Kitsune, and in my opinion it's the best fruit in the game. It costs 8 million money or 5,000 Robux, so it's definitely not cheap. But if you can manage to get it, it's definitely worth it, as it's perfect in every category: PvP, grinding, mobility, and hunting sea events. Now it is very expensive, so you can stick with Buddha if you can't get it, since you'll still grind very fast. Now, for the fighting style, you have two options. The first option is to use Sharkman Karate, as it's one of the best fighting styles for grinding, since it does high damage and has a fast M1 attack. In case you skipped, I already explained Sharkman Karate at timestamp 4 minutes and 9 seconds, so rewind to that part for more information on Sharkman Karate. The second option is Sanguine Arts, which is the better choice. If you want a guide on how to get Sanguine Arts, press on the video card located top right. Sanguine Arts is in my opinion the best fighting style, especially for grinding. Firstly, the M1 attack range is much larger than any other fighting styles, which you can see in the background gameplay. Secondly, the Z move also does a 20% life leech of your maximum health, so it's really useful for both PvP and grinding. Anyway, yeah, it's got a very long M1 attack range, does great damage, and isn't that hard to get. But don't get me wrong, Sanguine Arts is pretty hard to get, but when compared to other 3rd C fighting styles, except Electric Claw, it's not too hard. For the gun, you have two options. The first option is Kombucha, which costs 1,500 fragments and can be bought in the second C. I already explained Kombucha and where you can buy it, so rewind to timestamp 4 minutes and 29 seconds if you want to know more about Kombucha. The second option is Soul Guitar, which is the better option, and is currently the only mythical rarity gun in the game. If you want a guide on how to get Soul Guitar, press on this video card link top right. Now the only catch is that you must be a minimum level of 2,300 to start the Soul Guitar quest, and by the time you're level 2,300 you're pretty close to max level anyway. So you'll be using Kombucha regardless for most of the grinding in the 3rd C anyway. But anyway, in my opinion, Soul Guitar is the best gun in the game, since the M1 is explosive, meaning you don't need good aim to hit any enemies. The M1 also breaks Instinct Hockey, making it great to start a combo, and the X move does life leech. Overall, Soul Guitar is perfect as it excels for both grinding and PvP, but sadly it can only be obtained once you're level 2,300 or higher. For the sword, once again you have two options. The first option is the Dragon Trident, which is a sword that can be obtained in the second C. I already explained Dragon Trident and how you can obtain it, so rewind to timestamp 5 minutes and 10 seconds if you want to know more about Dragon Trident. The second option is the Cursed Dual Katana, which is arguably the best sword in the game. If you want a guide on how to get the Cursed Dual Katana, press on the video card link top right. The Cursed Dual Katana is a perfect sword since it deals very high damage, and all the moves are great for both PvP and grinding. However, you must be a minimum level of 2,200 or higher to do the Cursed Dual Katana quest. So for most of the grinding in the 3rd C you'll be using Dragon Trident anyway. Now that's the best grinding build for the 3rd C. Kitsune Fruit, or Buddha, Sanguine Arts, or Sharkman Karate, Soul Guitar, or Kabucha, Cursed Dual Katana, or Dragon Trident. For the max level build, it's very simple, the loadout is Sanguine Arts, Soul Guitar, and Cursed Dual Katana. And for the fruit, since you're max level, grinding doesn't matter, so the fruit is your choice. But a fruit I'd recommend is Portal, since the sea move allows you to travel to any island that's located in the sea you're in. Anyway, yeah, that's the best max level build. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. If you found this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing, it'd help me greatly. Anyway, bye.